Welcome to Monday Workshop. And as always, every Monday, we invite special guest speakers with unique experiences, unique spiritual experiences on the path of this Brahma Kumaris spirituality. So today we have with us Sister Belen. She has been with Baba for almost 2 decades, and she's originally from Venezuela, and she has a very unique journey on this path of spirituality. So Sister Belen is going to share with us how Baba has been a unique support, right? And the strength that helped her to get through to face a lot of tough situations that are happening in Venezuela and in life in general, right? So welcome, Sister. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti, brother. Your so wonderful introduction and presenting the theme and connecting all the dots with Baba's knowledge and the richness, right? That Baba gives us every day. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the invitation. I feel happy to be here with all of you, sharing a little bit of the story. I don't know where to begin, I guess. I was a normal person, I guess. I knew I was always a seeker, but I wasn't really seeking outside. It was kind of, I understood later on, but I was raised Catholic because Venezuela is located in the very north of South America in front of the Caribbean Sea. And it's a Catholic country, 80%, 90% of the population is Catholic. So I was raised Catholic. So around when I was in my 20s, I was put off. I wasn't feeling connected at all. No resonation. I mean, I was doing whatever I was doing in the religious way because of the family, right? Because I was brought up like that. But there was no resonation. Nothing resonated inside of me. Actually, I was feeling kind of depressed every time I went into a church or something like that. And so I just, continue my journey, try other Christian faith, different than Catholic. And I felt that it was more personal, there was more spirituality there. That was something I was looking and I didn't know at the time. And then when I was, older, like 2 decades later after that, I had, my mother was very ill and I had this amazing experience while she was in the process of leaving her body. And I didn't know at the time, but something was happening inside of me and I was being prepared, I guess. And maybe by Baba, I don't know, but I was, it's too long to explain, but I was just with her, just me, even though she had many children and other people, but at the time I was just me because I had to have that experience to be able to open something inside of me for my spiritual growth. So that was a perfect synchronicity there. So after she passed away, and then all of a sudden I started feeling that I wanted to know more about spirituality. So I started, reading some books, maybe Deepak Chopra. I was resonating with whatever he was saying and things like that. But I never thought about meditation. It never occurred to me. So one day I was living in the mountains in a farm. And this is a very tiny village of 600 people maybe. And one day one neighbor sent a message to me saying that there's going to be somebody from India coming to give a meditation class or session or something on a Sunday at a place. I wasn't invited by the owners of that house. It was a neighbor that invited me. So I was doubtful, I didn't know. She said, this is Brahma Kumaris. I had no idea what that was. But let me go back a little bit of the preparation that, this subtle thing, I guess Baba moving his his things to make me prepare me, right? There was, in that tiny village, there was this Krishna temple. So there were Krishna devotees, all Venezuelans there. The guru maybe will come once in a lifetime or something, but and we were invited on Sundays, and we will go, me and my husband will go, and we enjoy that. But still, it was not that, but it was good because I got connected to the history and the Indian bhakti, in a sense, so I could understand later on. At that point, I didn't know, of course. So when this neighbor said to me, there's going to be this, you should go, and I said, but I wasn't invited by the owners of the house. No matter, you go, you go. So we went, and they wasn't expecting me to be there. Actually, they were not too fond of me, but I was there. And because it was all spiritual, it was fine. The person was, Sister Silverine was the instrument. She's a national coordinator in Venezuela. She's from Hindu background, from Trinidad. So it was not only one day, it was the whole week. It was the whole foundation course. And I was just so excited. And I just listened to this. And just the first words, when she mentioned about the soul being here, and about God and a light. It just resonated with me in such a huge, amazing way that I was kind of breathless. Before, I used to be a person that will, doubt things, have a lot of questionings and this and that. But at that time, I was surprised at myself. I was kind of like looking at myself and thinking, why am I not saying anything against this, or questioning? Nothing. It was just so perfect. And it was August. So we finished the 7 days on a next Saturday with Raki. And that did it. That was like, I cannot express that. It was just amazing. It was so powerful, so beautiful, so pure, so amazing. And it was instant for us, for me and my husband. It was just instant. It was in a couple of months, we were just following everything very naturally, no effort, no, it was just, we realized, we knew this is it. And one of the things that had a greater impact in me was this thing about silence that Baba speaks today in the Murli, about dead silence. And I understood right away what it meant. It meant, you die to all the rubbish. You die to everything that is not the truth, that is not giving you happiness. In fact, it's giving you sorrow. So I, right away. And then because of the English, I already had the English, and this sister from Trinidad, there was a lot of material in English, but very little in Spanish. So I started getting the Murlis in English, and she started sending me through email, and thank God, because emails were already there. Not so big, but they were already there. And I started getting the classes, Daddy's classes, Daddy Prakashmani, Daddy Janki, Daddy Gulzar, all the classes. And I just was like, oh my goodness, how do I give this to the other people that were there with me but didn't speak English? How do I share this with them? And, keep in mind, we were in the mountain, very tiny village, 800 kilometers away from the center that was in the capital. And so I felt I have to do this. So I started doing it just to share with them. And I think that was one of the means that Baba used to keep me connected, to keep me growing, and developing spiritually, because those classes were like gems, right? Like diamonds, so powerful. So then little by little, there was this word, somebody knew that I was doing this. So, in time, um, Baba decided that I was the soul that had to do this service. And being so far away again, this was my way of doing service, and still is, translating everything for Baba into Spanish, whatever I can and whatever they send to me, Baba sends to me. But that's support. The Murli, of course, every day. Amrit Vela was just amazing. But I was getting, feeling I want to be in the center. I want to do service. The way we get so much zeal and enthusiasm, and we want to do. But every time I complained to Baba during Amrit Vela about this, in that Murli that day, that was every single time in the Murli, that day that I complained to Baba, Baba will say, your place is in your home with your family. Until I realized, okay, I accept that. But I needed Baba to tell me that many times. So I will not take a little bit of sorrow from being so far away. So, yeah, many situations came. Venezuela is going through a lot of upheaval. It had already started when I came to Baba, when Baba found us in the mountain. And little by little, many things have grown very difficult, to the point that our oldest daughter, that was born in the United States 41 years ago and was living here for a long time, she decided that we should come, and she will petition us, and we should come and stay here. And so we did, but we had the farm. We have the farm, a small farm, but the house and whatever that means, something had to be done with that. But then also we had another younger daughter that was already married, had a baby, is a doctor, and she had to stay. She couldn't come at the time. And so they stayed taking care of the farm. And while she was, it's closer to the city, in the closest city there. But then we came, and we just came with one suitcase each. Another word that I really like is let go. In Spanish, in English is two words, in Spanish is only one word. And that have been a mantra for me for many, many, many years. When you have faith, when you really resonate and you really know who you are, who is God, who is giving you all this fortune, you don't need anything else. And you know that whatever happens is just perfect, because drama is perfect. One thing leads to another. Even if this thing that is happening right now is not a happy moment, but then it will lead to something that it will be better for you. So this faith, we have always have this faith. All the changes, all the things that I've gone through life, I always knew. Before Baba, I didn't know, many things I didn't understand, but I accepted them. Then after Baba, I understood everything. And I knew that it was right to follow kind of my intuition, because it was God talking to me. I didn't know at the time, but now I do. So taking one support, one strength for the one that has given me all the happiness in the world. It's just a magic, it's an equation, right? It's like it's like the ingredients to really be happy and flow in the world with whatever is happening. So we came here 4 years ago, almost 4.5, with one suitcase each. And I remember one sister in Peace Village asked me, how was the move? you know, because moving from another country, you think, oh, wow, this is going to be kind of, and I said, what do you mean? Well, you know, how do you do? And I said, well, nothing. We just brought one suitcase each. What? Yeah, because that's all we need. We brought a few things that we needed that we didn't want to leave there, and a few pieces of clothing that we needed to start with. And we haven't lacked anything. Everything since we came, everything was there and has been there for us. And I think letting go of expectations, first of all, letting go of desires, because that's, you know, those are the root of unhappiness. Just let Baba do, because he knows why, you know, he's moving the pieces around and this drama. And of course, there is a karma involved as well. So all together are doing everything for me. I just have to be there, do whatever I can, you know, remain in this consciousness as much as possible. I am a soul, everybody is a soul. And, you know, whomever is not having a happy moment in their life just needs my understanding, my compassion, my love, my support. But I could not give any of that if I didn't take from the source, if I don't connect, if I don't resonate, if I don't have the experience. That's another word that I love. Being a teacher as a professional, you know, experiencing, when you teach, you understand that the students, when they experience, is when they learn the most. So it's not so much about information, it's about understanding and getting to experience it, to live it, so you can then feel yourself with that. And I love that. Meditation for me is, it's just amazing. I can meditate anytime, any moment, anywhere. Nobody knows. I remember in Venezuela, in the metro, it's awful. Maybe all metros in the world like that, I don't know. Certainly New York is like that, but it's all packed and everything. And if I had to take the metro, when I will come out of the center, whenever I was there, I will just surround myself in this light, you know, taking power, and will just be like a um, lighthouse. I will go out, you know, like with my mind sending so much rays. And in the metro, I never felt anybody near me. They were near because it's physically, you know, but I didn't feel it. And more than one time, people will ask me, you know, what do you do? Why do you shine so much, or something like that? Because some souls could, you know, just feel it. And that made me so happy. And I think it's a great opportunity, but at the same time, it's a big responsibility to be Baba's child, because we have to be true to ourselves, but we have to be true to Baba as well. We have to die alive. We have to be in dead silence as much as possible, in the sense that you don't let things come into your mind that are dead already. You don't need that. What for, right? You just need to bring the light so you can share that light with others. And this is what has been my experience. Then, you know, being in the United States, there was the opportunity. I was again far away from the center. I went to Peace Village maybe 3 or 4 times during this time. But again, I was in no center, but I was still doing the same thing, translating every single day. I have something to translate for Baba every single day. And when I finish my Amrit Vela, I continue, I remain in that space of silence and enjoyment and fulfillment and love. And then I continue with that because I'm translating for Baba, and I get that. And I remember, you know, one time with Daddy Yankee in Marubang, we were having a small meeting with Sister Jajanti there in the Shakti Bhavan in the little patio. And I had the courage to say, Daddy, I've been translating your classes into Spanish. Baba, gave me this role or this task to do for him. And I feel such a deep connection. And she looked at me, she gave me drishti, and then she said, there is a connection. And that was amazing for me. So, and it's just do for Baba and don't think about anything else. That, be altruistic, selfless. Because again, if we hold on to things, even if it's just my idea, you cannot be selfless. You cannot be altruistic. And you're not going to be happy, because if that doesn't go through, then, you're going to crash and then you're going to be unhappy. And that vibration is what's going to go out. And we don't want that, right? That's a big responsibility. We have to think about this every day. Whatever I'm feeling, I am allowed to feel that. Yes, of course I am. We're humans. We're growing. And the thing is that, less and less, right? Less and less. If I get a little irritated, it doesn't last a few seconds. It lasts few seconds. I laugh at myself, which is something else that I love to do. Laugh at myself when I'm being silly in my mind, just for a few seconds, and let go. Let go, let God be the soul you are, be yourself. Take one strength, one support from the source, from the divine, the one that gives us everything. And I will not exchange this for anything in my life. I cannot tell you how happy I am. I am a happy person. I have always been happy, but not so much. It's like natural. And again, because Baba taught me how to be myself and be happy with it. So I hope that you can take a little bit. I don't know if I have more time or not, or we're going to meditate or take
you
some
have a lot
questions.
of time.
Okay.
You have 1 more hour.
1 more hour? Are you sure?
Yeah. So,
well, maybe
this is 7, right? Like we have till 8 o'clock. So we'll definitely do a little bit of meditation, and there'll be a little Q&A. And yeah, so one of the things that I want to emphasize is, especially when we start translating, language is so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Especially you being a translator, this always comes to my mind, right? Like language is what? Bunch of words, bunch of characters.
Yeah.
Bunch of words put together to make some sense, right? So what is this words actually representing, right? If you say a word amor or love, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
represent? There is a whole feeling behind it. There is a whole bhavana behind it.
Yeah.
A whole experience. There is a whole story that you can tell when you last experience that feeling and all of the stuff. And the words are so powerful that the words can take you into that experience, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you are translating, right? Especially you're translating the content from Dadi's classes or Murli's for that matter. So you are stepping into the mind of the author itself, right?
Yeah.
Putting yourself in Dadi's shoes, and what was she experiencing as describing all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So that itself is a beautiful yoga.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yes, it is. It's a way to stay connected. It's amazing. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on that note, I just want to check in with you. Do you remember some of those jewels that stuck with you, that help you to keep going forward? Like Dadi's classes are so magical.
Yeah. Oh, well. Especially, but Daddy always emphasized in the virtues we have to have. And I don't remember exactly, and please forgive me for this, but I remember that she said we have to be patient, we have to have sweetness, we have to be happy, and we have to have purity, of course, and we have to study. And something that Daddy said a lot was that she loved the student life. And I resonate with that also because I love that. I love to be a student. I think it's an opportunity every day to learn something, to experience something. And so I resonated with that also. And Daddy always, again, talk about letting go the past. Why do you have to think about the past? There's no point on that unless it's just to remind yourself for to not to make the same mistake again, but not to feel guilty or to punish somebody even with your thoughts. There's no use for that, and Daddy always emphasized that as well. And of course, remember who you are, who you belong to, and what do you have to do.
That's right. That
Yeah,
is the mantra. Three Om Shantis, who you
yeah,
are and who you belong to. What is
yeah,
you need to do now? Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so much love. She was, especially the last years, talking about love and love and love in so many ways. Pyar, prem, all the words in Hindi that have to deal or mean something about love. Amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
So such an example.
I think that is another unique thing that coming from ancient cultures, like, South America is one of the ancient cultures, and English is more of a modern, so it may minimize the richness of the language, like one of the things that you are pointing out on the prem, right? Love itself,
Yeah.
4 or 5 versions of it, prem,
Yeah.
pyar, and all other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it goes into English and from English it goes back into Spanish. So you lose something in the translation.
Definitely. Yeah. But you were saying something about translating, and I think I have been blessed because the first time I went to Madhuban, I got to translate a Murli into Spanish in Panda Bhavan.
Mm.
It was like uh, I wasn't expecting that actually. I was just a 1-year-old baby, but it
Mm.
happened. And again, Baba knows what the soul needs. But in translating, especially if you're in simultaneous interpretation, you have to convey the feelings. It shouldn't be like a robotic type or flat. No, you have to bring this feeling so the others can also receive that. And I do that. And as a matter of fact, that's my job today, interpreting over the phone. But and again, it's such an opportunity to be there for people that are having so many problems with, especially with this COVID situation. And I feel like an instrument just to be there and with my voice, you know, translate, interpret from here and there. And every morning I just on my pad I write on top of my pad I write the blessing, and I take a couple of words, powerful words that resonate that day from the Murli, and I write it there, and I looked at it all the time. So this is what I'm also conveying when I interpret, and this is the world, the Lokik world. But I'm doing my job, Lokik, but I'm doing also my job as a spiritual server, as Baba's child, and that brings me a lot of joy. Yeah,
Mm. That,
yeah,
that is really beautiful. Like one of the things Baba says is like bring all of this wisdom into action, right?
yeah,
The
right,
Yeah, you right nicely put together. Like the majority of the communication is non-verbal, and which is the tone that you put and what is the awareness that you are holding, so that
yeah,
you can convey that feeling to that other.
yeah,
Words may be straight translation, but behind that words there is this whole tone that is
yeah,
they will be, that is what they will be taking away.
Yeah.
And on that,
Especially, yeah, especially in you know, in this, in spirituality, where I mean, it never occurred to me that that it shouldn't be that way. It was just natural. It has to be this way,
yeah,
you know?
so we will get there.
Yeah.
Mhm. I like today's Murli where Baba was talking in the, especially in the blessing, like your state, like inner stage
Yeah.
should be corporeal, and your perspective, your awareness should be of the original, which is like divinity, right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and that has to come naturally. So in order for that thing to come naturally, you you need to hold something else behind that words.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it happens, and it can happen, you know, and it can happen in a second. We just have to let Baba do. I mean, when Baba says, I have experienced that, the 1 second that Baba talks about, in the sense that when there is this thought, something happens, this thought comes, you know, whatever, with somebody or some situation, it doesn't matter. You know, the instant you have the thought, you know that thought should not be there. It's not good for anyone. It just takes 1 second to realize that, maybe less, and 1 second to just let go. You know, get rid of it. Not good for anything. So I try to practice that. I'm not saying I'm perfect, far from perfect, but I make it my task to make this natural. You know, the more you practice, the more natural it comes. And we have to be honest with ourselves. Who are you kidding? You know, you might be kidding other people, but you cannot kid yourself, and you cannot kid God. You know, Baba knows. Baba doesn't know. He has said everything that is in your mind, but he sees your stage. He feels and he knows from the stage of the soul what's going on there. So this
Yeah.
is and this is, again, take the strength and the support from Baba, from the seniors, because those are Baba's instruments, and they're experienced, and you know, just follow on Brahma Baba's footsteps, Mama's steps, and now all the daddies and the ancestor souls that are, to me also, that's an amazing thing happening. Because of them, we are able to go faster, because of all their effort they did for so many years and decades. We get to understand this, like, easily. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
Yeah,
you know, because they're there backing us up. They're there giving us, taking from Baba and giving us. So again, one strength and one support, because that's what they did, and that's what they're giving us at the same time. And this is what I would like everybody to take, you know, faith in drama, faith in yourself, faith in God. You are a soul, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you're pure, you're happy. You understand the things as they are, you know, because Baba is giving you all of this. So use that to be happy, to let go, to resonate, to experience every day, even if it's only for a few minutes, every day, have the experience of you being a soul and taking that power from Baba. And that will make you realize that's all you need. That's the only strength and the only support that you need. Ekbaal, Ekbarosa,
yes,
is that
yes.
correct?
Yeah, on that note, one of the brother was asking this question that, see, once Hindi is translated to English, English is translated to Spanish, so you lose some of the information. So do you understand Hindi when Dadi is talking, and then you translate accordingly?
No, I mean, I have learned some words, but you know, it's amazing because when I will listen to Daddy or um, Baba, Bab Dada, it's just the feeling. Some words I will pick up, right? Because of so many years listening to them and all of that and reading or whatever. But it's the vibration, when you get the connection, because languages, borders, limits, they are all in the mind. They don't exist really. We're souls. Like Baba says, what's your language? The language of the soul. And the language of the soul is peace, is happiness, is silence, is purity. That's why we recognize, every time I went to a different center, I travel in South America a little bit, doing a little bit of service as well. Every time you will do, conduct meditation or something, you will recognize all these souls because you're seeing the souls, and it's just this feeling of belonging. So in Baba's family, that's another amazing thing about Baba and his family. It's just that we're one. There's no difference, no matter if you're in India or in Europe or in Africa, in South America or in North America, it's all the same. And you feel the connection because this is Baba's doing. And this is the most amazing thing, because for so many decades, this has grown and been sustained because it's sustained by the only power, right? And so it makes us just resonate. I don't know how to explain. I hope everybody can get the feeling, that I'm seeing you. I don't see faces, only a couple faces, but I see the names.
If you can turn on your cameras, that will be nice.
It's okay. But I see you're there. You're a soul, and you're my brother or my sister, and part of my family. And whenever we will see each other, we will recognize each other. And this is again something that only Baba can do.
That is beautiful. What you said is like recognizing each other.
Yeah.
By vibrations. And once I remember, I think in Avyakti Parivar Mohini was sharing about this part, So if we had a shared part, like we have done some project together, so then whenever I think about you, what happened in that project between you and me, right? We recognize people from the role that we play.
Yeah.
Right? But she was telling that, see, after a point, you don't even go to the context of the incident, right? Like we were doing this or this happened, or you take the context of the story altogether. You recognize others from their virtues. You feel belonging just by looking the goodness in others. Yeah. You feel that sense of belonging, and that is amazing.
It is.
So, one of the major things that is happening, especially with this COVID in last couple of years, is people are feeling very lonely, right? And it is not that not everyone is struggling with financial things, but there are big amount of people are struggling with mental illnesses, which is a belonging. There is there is this sense of anxiety, and for some of the people, they don't even know why are they anxious.
Yeah.
This anxiety.
Exactly.
I'm safe, I have a nice job, I have a family, but still this anxiety is kicking, right? So like you're nicely putting it together that, see, after a point, you start living at a different level.
Definitely.
Living not at the physical level. Physical circumstances don't define how you feel. So what is happening, what you're holding in your awareness, what you're remembering is what creates your awareness. And the whole experience of life totally changes. And then you bring into that awareness. Right? Yeah. So I have a question on, so you're also a board member of LVEP, which is Living Values.
In the US,
Right? So as a Living Values is such a beautiful program that Diane Ben has created. It is all about divinity in action, right? Divinity, virtues, and powers in action, right? So, and then she has a very nice way of translating into an action this spiritual concepts, which may get a very slippery after a point, right? So she has a nice way to put together, and I'm sure like you might have translated a lot of those books.
Yeah.
So any insights or from that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's living values, because it came from originally, right, with the program from Brahma Kumaris, and all the power from Baba was there, because all these beautiful brothers and sisters put this together with this in mind. And of course, it had to have its own personality, and it had to be separated to be able to serve bigger communities. And I started being involved in 2005, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And the first experience with that was in that little tiny village school. In that village that I was going, it was, rural school, very small. But again, it was a service of love. But just because I was in this connection, it's not living values alone, it's also what I am as a soul. Of course, I will not talk about that, but the vibrations, again, what you were saying. And the transformation in that school, the children, the teachers, the parents, was amazing. It was really amazing. It will be too long to tell the story, but when you have because again, people are in need to belong to be able to be heard, listened to, and also have the opportunity to receive some kind of tools or guidance to navigate life. Being a parent is not an easy task. Ask Baba about it. It's not easy.
Whole
And
world is her
maybe
family.
many of you are parents and you know what I'm talking about. And so when you bring this amazing program to parents, to teachers, to students, you're giving them this support. But why is it so beautiful? Because of the foundation. And because of, a lot of people involved have this connection as well. And I love being involved. I haven't been doing much since I came, except translating, but I cherish the experience there. And even we took it, and I think it's just the only country that I've done that, in Venezuela, for living values. The major university in the capital in Venezuela, when you're going to graduate, you have to, in the university, you have to do some kind of project, some kind of service, community service, right? And in one of the projects in this major university, it's called Children in a World of Peace, and it involves different things. But they knew about living values and they wanted. So most of the 120 hours of training for the students that chose that program to do their project, among 60 projects, it was living values, training them how to go to schools in the marginal cities, in the poorest areas of the city, to work and teach the students there about values. So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience because we have students from mathematics, economy, forgive me, oh my goodness, I forgot the word even in Spanish. Anyway, so it was international studies, and different anthropology, sociology, but you have different types of students and they all connected with the thing, because what's living values is just values, and it resonates with people because we have values. We all do. We chose not to use them, that's a different thing, but they're there. And we just have to reconnect with them. And when you hear, for example, I remember one, at the end of one of those trainings, one student from international studies, she said, they teach us about Gandhi, and I've learned about Mandela and so many amazing figures in the history, you know, as a diplomat, I need to learn from them. But nobody ever talked to me about peace this way.
Mm.
So this is what I'm taking with me, and that was amazing. I think that's what it is. It's just to put a seed, you know, a little seed in everyone, and you know, and let it grow. And I don't know if it's going to grow or not, but at least that's the job well done. I feel that way, in the
Mm.
sense that you are transmitting, you're giving somebody the experience to connect,
And
and
then there's
that's
such an yeah, this is such an amazing program, that Living Value Education.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
I remember once Dan Ben was sharing in one of the gatherings where the content may sound simple, like peace, love, and things like that, but how it is presented to different
yeah,
people from different backgrounds. So one of the set she was calling out is, for in Sri Lanka, she was doing one of the programs where the whole community was in war, right? So literally, children saw their own parents killed before their own eyes. They are so
yeah,
traumatized. And for those people, you have to teach things like love and peace,
yeah,
right? And then once somebody who is very near, like your own mother or father, killed before your own eyes, it is such a traumatic incident that leaves a deep crevice in the,
yeah,
right? And how do you feel it? How do you reconcile things like that? And then this program is such an amazing program. How she was able to connect to those people.
yeah,
Definitely they will have this PTSD, right? Post-traumatic
yeah,
stress
yeah,
disorders. And then it stays for a long period of time. It won't go over a period overnight, right?
exactly.
This program is also built for those who are in the streets, like who are bullies and who are in a bad neighborhood, in the
Yeah,
project. And the same projects have been redesigned for those who are in a well-to-do communities too, right?
yeah,
And how you nicely put together, like the core is the same among
it
all,
is. Yeah,
right?
we're all
And when,
humans.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is such a magical thing when spirituality comes into action. And I see this Living Value program is a manifestation of all the divinity in action, right? It's
yeah,
a full program. Yeah. And
yeah,
I'll ask you one questions on the same lines, going a little deeper into dadis, right? So we heard about dadis and how yajna started, and they went through a lot of tough situation in the beginning, right? So there's a lot of opposition from the community because you're going against the status quo, and culturally you are doing something different from normal, and that is endured a lot of that, right?
yeah,
So when we as Brahmins who relate to dadis, each dadi exudes a different quality, right? So anything in particular, like Dadi Gulzar, she's a person of simple words but very deep, right?
yeah,
From a deep consciousness, and then she used to take us in a deeper space, right? So anything from the dadis that you personally experienced around how to enrich your own spiritual experience
yeah.
being into
Well, from Daddy Prakashmani, it was the light. It, you know, no wonder she had that name. Um, I remember experiences from her uh, 3 times before she left the body in Madhubang. Every time she'll come to the hall, it was like the light came. I don't know if you experienced the same thing, but for me, and it was amazing. She was so light and so, and at the same time, you know, she will take care of everybody in such a light way, like it was nothing, you know. And we heard so many stories, and I remember Ken, especially because we in Venezuela were connected, very close connected to brother Ken. And so many times he came to Venezuela, and he will always tell a story of personal experiences with the daddies. And one time he was saying that they had this huge program in Delhi and here and there. And at the end of the day, she was fresh as a lettuce, and they were all so tired. And they asked her, you know, how do you do it? We've been here and there and everywhere, running the whole day, did you meetings or lectures and this and that programs? She said, what? No, I didn't do anything. It's all Baba, you know? And it stay with me, because when you do things, you know it, I know it, when I do things in a different consciousness, I get tired. I might even get sick. I could, you know, or whatever. But when you're doing it in this experience of being a soul in whatever you're doing, your job or some service, it doesn't matter. Then you don't feel tired. Of course, at the end of the day, the body needs rest, right? And the mind as well. But you will not feel like wiped out, you know, like exhausted. And I think that was the key for her, and her love, of course. Daddy Gulsar, you know, her silence, like you said, that's in itself a great inspiration. You know, her stability, you know, her calmness. And I had an opportunity to have a personal meeting with her. Again, the first time I went to Madhuban, it was just one blessing after another. And I want to tell you that story because it's, for me, it's really beautiful. I embroidered these handkerchiefs, one for each daddy with their letter, right? White with a little lace. So I just their first initial and a little bit of flowers, all white. So when Daddy Prakashmani, after the Murli, she said, you know, they said, you know, come to Daddy, whomever, if you bring a gift, bring it with you, all of that, right? So I brought whatever I had and the handkerchiefs for her. Then as she held my hand, I remember that I felt so elated. I said, I am not going to wash this hand. But anyway, I was then, you know, a few days passed and I haven't been able to see Daddy Yankee or Daddy Gulsar for that matter. And my instrument was not there at the moment. She had gone to Hyderabad. So I remember one brother from Chile, it was the next day I was leaving, and I said, brother, you know, I have this handkerchief for daddies and I don't know what to do. Who do I give this to? This is the first time that I went to Madhuban, okay? And he said, but you know, there is Daddy's cottage. This is Gyan Sarovar. You just go there. You know, she's your sister. She's your older sister. She's Daddy. She's right there for you. Don't be afraid. Go. The worst thing that could happen is that they're going to tell you come later, but they're not going to say no to you. So I went. I gathered my courage. I took both handkerchiefs, Daddy Yankees and Daddy Gulsars with me, and I went and I was asked to wait just 10 minutes. So Daddy was with somebody. And so when she was ready for me, I came in the room and she asked me to sit next to her in the same sofa. And Didi Sudesh was the translator that day. And, you know, Daddy say, oh, Venezuela, lovely Venezuela, you know how Daddy. And then I said, Daddy, I have this handkerchief and that I embroider in, you know, remembering Baba. This is just my little token. And then she said, Daddy Prakashmani. And I said, I already gave her. Okay, then I received this one. And then I said, but this is for Daddy Gulsar. And she said, when are you leaving? And I said, tomorrow. All right, you were gonna give it to her. So I don't know how, she just said that. But I knew, I didn't have to ask how, when, how, you know? So, okay. So next day I went to Shantivan to get ready to get my train and taking leave from Daddy's cottage from Daddy Prakashmani. the group was taking leave and another group was coming in because there was a meeting next day and I couldn't stay because of my ticket. So anyway, I remember Daddy Gulsar came, sat next to Daddy Prakashani. And then Shilu Ben came and said, okay, you're all going into Daddy's Baba's room, one by one for 1 second, go in the room and come out. And when I was coming, Shilu Ben held me and she said, you go last. Okay. And then I went, and when I came out, there was a little sitting room before Baba's room, right? So when I came out of Baba's room to that sitting room, Daddy Gulsar was there waiting for me.
Wow.
Amazing. So I had that chit chat and the handkerchief, and I gave her a letter for Baba for next day. So, you know, it was like, I'm happy to go back. I'm sorry I cannot stay longer, but I'm happy with all of this. I'm happy to go back. And it was such an amazing experience. So yeah, she was so soft, so, you know, her stage, you could feel her silence, but at the same time, her love, her easygoing nature. Daddy Gulsar. And Daddy Yankee, you know, she was a strong force that, you know, do it now. If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it, right? So I have taken from all of them, and knowing that all of their strength comes from Baba. One support
Yeah.
and one
It,
strength.
it
Yeah.
is so beautiful that you're fortunate to have all these personal experiences with that.
Yeah.
One daddy at a time, and so you can just remember that moment, and all of that experience comes alive, right?
Yeah.
What do you have for those who haven't met daddies? Like, not many people have met daddies, and what does it
Yeah.
feel, right? And now daddies are in a avyakt stage, in a subtle stage, but they're in a more powerful
Yeah.
stage than, and more accessible than before in being in physical, right?
Definitely. Well, you know, I will say what for me was with Mama. I never met Mama,
Mm.
you know, but I can understand. I mean, I got the feeling, first of all, from Adi Dev. I read that book like 2 days after I got the course. I just wanted to go to Madhuban. I just wanted to be in that school where they were, you know, it was just amazing. And Mama, that figure, that amazing personality, and that immense role of being the mother of the Yagya, being so young but so wise. Because again, she was taking her support and her strength for the one.
Mm.
That's it. You know,
That is her mantra.
she could go to judges or whatever situation, and it was amazing. And one day I had this vivid dream with Daddy Yankee. She was telling me in the dream, read Adi Devi. I hadn't read at that time. It was like many years after. I don't know how many years I've been in Guyana. At that time I had that dream with Daddy Yankee telling me, read Adi Devi. And I read it and I understood that there was a particular situation that my role had to be like a mother. That's it. Just accept, love, be a mother, be a support. So again, for those who never met the daddies, like I never met Mama, but I could take from her, you know, listen to the story. There's so many stories now and so many pictures, and to connect with that and just connect with something that resonates with you. And they're there for you. And now in the Aviac form, it's amazing the service that they're doing.
Beautiful. Yeah, definitely. There is so many books like Adidev, Adidevi, and there's a lot of classes. There is a lot of, for those who understand English, daddies have shared their own personal experience. You can just Google on the YouTube, and then there's a lot of, Jayanti Ben talks a lot about daddy.
Yeah.
Didi
Yeah.
talks a lot about the mama, and you, it's definitely that when we read about the story, so you can put yourself and you can resonate to to the story, and then you get to know the personality in that story.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I have one more question around Madhuban. Madhuban is such a magical place, right? And especially Panda Bhavan. My favorite is Panda Bhavan. So whenever I get an opportunity, I always try to go to Panda Bhavan, right? And I try to, of course, Gyan Sarovar and Shantivan. These are all beautiful places. And definitely when Baba comes, 25,000 people are around. And Baba comes and goes into start giving drishti. So much silence.
Yeah.
And 20,000 people, and you're in the middle of it. You're sitting in the center, and then you can feel the whole atmosphere. Huge hall, pin drop silence.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
your favorite place or favorite moments in Madhuban?
Well, certainly that first visit was amazing, full of, and that was the only time, I think right after that, there was no more going in front of Baba to take drishti from Bapdada.
Oh, so you were in those
Yeah,
days.
and the first time again, and I remember that, they say, okay, America, so sisters, the sister side, we have to go out, around, and come inside through the brother side,
Right.
and onto the stage, take, and Daddy Prakashmani was there, Daddy Janki, of course. So, and I remember that because there is people talking, like it's inevitable, right? People are moving, and I thought, I want to be in silence. I don't want to. And all of a sudden, as I was almost coming inside through the brother's door, I saw like this laser beams in my eyes, like shh, and I didn't hear anything else, nothing else. My ears went deaf, totally 100%, as I was going on the stage. And, it was just like a couple of seconds looking at Baba Drishti, getting that Drishti from Baba. And by the time Daddy Prakashmani was next to him on the right, by the time I looked at her, I already had tears in my eyes from just such an amazing experience of love and belonging. And then, going down the steps, I felt every step I took down, I felt that I was going up instead of down. And that powerful experience of Baba's eyes, I still remember. I can close my eyes and just see that, just the eyes. That's all I saw, nothing else. It's just powerful. So I felt blessed. And every time, you go to Madhuban, it's different. It's a different experience. It's a, different situation. You deal with different things, but it's the same family. It's nice to connect physically with the family. But the most, the besides Bapdad and all the experiences with that, is what struck me the most since the first time is how smooth things run in Madhuban. It's like I said, it's like they go onto rails, peace and love, everything. I'm sure they have their things and their situations, but you don't feel it, you don't see it. And they're there for you. These brothers, like yourself, all these brothers are so amazing. They're so loving. It's just an amazing experience to be there. And hopefully next year, I don't know if this year is not possible again, but hopefully next year. And I hope some of you get to experience. I don't know if I'll be able to go, but definitely. And when you hear the traffic control music, and that brings me right away back to Madhuban all the time, all the time.
Right. And then I know, like, when I visited Eugene, I remember it feels like Madhuban.
Yeah.
The traffic control that played is like Shanti ki Shakti se Shanti
Yeah.
Jana hai.
Yeah.
It is the same traffic control that plays in Madhuban.
Yeah.
Takes you to Madhuban straight.
Takes you straight, yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
Any
And now I wanted to finish,
Yeah.
forgive me. Then we came here. Then Baba brought us here. It's a long story again, but it happened. And I had total faith. This is it. This we have to do. And we drove all the way from Virginia to Oregon, 10 days driving. And we got in the middle of the pandemic because it was June last year. But we chose to we knew we had Baba as companion, and we got all ready with our food and everything. You know how we Brahmins learn to do so many things. And then we visited all these beautiful natural places that we could visit. And it's a once in a lifetime. I don't think we will repeat that trip again. And now we're here in the back of Baba's home, in Baba's property. It's amazing. And we feel the peace and the love, and the instrument, Sister Kiran is such an amazing soul, and she's there for everybody. She just gives herself all the time for everybody.
And your desire came true to be in the center now.
Yeah, exactly. It's never too late.
Beautiful. So can you take us into meditation, take us to Madhuban, wherever is your favorite place in Madhuban to meditate?
Yeah.
We have another 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just let's sit comfortably and relax. Just let your body relax, your mind. Just take your mind to the inside. Just look at yourself as this beautiful, sparkling star in the middle of the forehead. Connect yourself, connect your mind with that feeling, with that experience. And in the airplane of your intellect, just travel, just go upward, above the body, above the city, the country. Just fly free, pure light. And just imagine yourself in this place, in the mountain in India, where God came so many times in Brahma Baba's body to enable his children to experience themselves as souls. Just that. It's just so simple, no complication. It's just a tiny little point with so much power, so much truth, purity, happiness, knowledge. And that place has amazing vibrations of love, peace, acceptance. And just feel that you're going there. And one of the places is the History Hall. History Hall, Baba taught the Murli every day until his last day in that body. That History Hall is full of that vibration, not only of the people, the souls sitting there meditating, but the words, the knowledge, the power, and the history, how all this came to be. And you can see all the portraits of these souls, all the ancestor souls that mean something to you as a soul. They're doing their job as your ancestors. They're helping you move forward. They're helping you experience what it is like to be a soul, to be Baba's child, and to be part of this spiritual, amazing family. There is Mama, there is Baba, all the daddies and the dadas, and the history of this yagya that we also sustain with our stage, our purity, our good wishes. Just remain there. Experience being part of history being made, history that will change humanity. Feel the experience, feel the power, feel the strength and the support. Feel the happiness and the love of the family there. Let go of everything. Just feel dead silence. Only Baba and you. Baba's love is everywhere around you with other souls supporting you, giving you the strength to help him in his task. His love, what gets us together, keeps us together. And His love, the powerful vibration of pure love, what will really change the world. Just feel that. Allow yourself to have the experience, nothing else. Om Shanti.